Hello, I'm Pastor Kjersten Sullivan, and I'm honored to serve the ELCA Church Council on behalf of the Northwest Lower Michigan Synod. The ELCA Churchwide Council is the board of directors for the ELCA, and we also serve as the interim legislative body between churchwide assemblies. So not unlike the way our own Synod Council or our congregational councils work, but for the whole churchwide offices. As I record this, I am just back from our spring meeting of the council, so I'm excited to share with you the most recent work of the church council. First off, the best part of serving on church council is the amazing people I get to work alongside. I have found my fellow church council members to be incredibly thoughtful, wise, diverse, and discerning group of people who love Jesus and the church and want to share the gift of grace that we as Lutherans hold so dear. So church council meetings, not unlike synod assemblies, are first and foremost business meetings. So we do a lot of business stuff in our time together. We review and approve budgets, we receive reports, we approve staffing changes, personnel policies, etc. So if you were in one of our meetings, if you walked into one, you might find yourself wondering if you were at a church meeting or a corporate board meeting. And honestly, as we go through the work of today, you may find yourself asking that question. I'll tell you from my experience, serving on the church council has been one of the most spiritually challenging and faith-growing experiences of my life. I find it incredibly spiritual work, but you have to know how to look for it. So before I tell you about some of the work of the church, let me share with you how I have found the Spirit moving in these meetings. And maybe you'll find it helpful if you are feeling bogged down in part of our time together. So what we remember, because Bishop Eaton reminds us again and again, is that the work that we do as church council is not the main thing. The main thing, as Bishop Satterley likes to remind us, is Jesus. The work of the church is the proclamation of the good news of Jesus Christ. Our job is to handle the world business stuff so that the good news of Jesus Christ can shine through. So budgets, staff, social statements, compensation documents, all of those things are important, only in that they help facilitate the work of spreading the kingdom of God, right? You need a treasurer because you need to be able to have the lights on to share Jesus. All of these things are only about how do we share the good news of Christ. So we do this work through that lens. Is this helping us magnify the good news of Jesus? Because if it's not important. So the best example of this I saw this weekend was, interestingly enough, in the report of the ELCA's legal counsel. At every church council meeting, we are briefed by the ELCA's lawyer on any cases facing the church. And so he gives us this whole legal rundown on all these things that are going on. And then after he finished, he started to tell us about the work he'd done on his sabbatical, reflecting on how our theology should handle how we approach misconduct. And it was this beautiful reflection on how grace and forgiveness include accountability and protecting the vulnerable, and how we hold those things as we work through legal issues in the church. So you would not think of Jesus in a legal briefing, but that's one place I saw the kingdom of God shaping our work this week. How do we make sure that these things are not keeping us from the gospel? So what else did we do? We do a lot of receiving of things. We received the report of the 12th dialogue between Lutherans and Catholics, this one on faithful teaching. We received an update on the Commission for the Renewed Lutheran Church. We look forward to their report in coming meetings. We reviewed and approved a social message on gun violence and trauma. That should be up on the ELC website here fairly shortly. And we participated in a hearing on a draft social statement on civic life and faith, which will be presented at the churchwide assembly next summer. And I'll tell you, if you would like to read this proposed social statement and offer your input, you can do that by visiting elca.org/civics and faith. And you can read the statement and offer any thoughts or feedback you have on that. My personal work on the church council is I serve on the committee for Christian community and leadership. And so we spent a lot of time reviewing the ELCA's grants to New Starts, congregations, synods, seminaries, etc., and talking about how we can be more effective in that work. We also spent a great deal of time reviewing the work of the candidacy working group, who are trying to, I don't want to say improve, but really modernize the candidacy process to bring it more in line with what the needs of the church are today. What do we need from our clergy and our lay leaders as we do this work of sharing the good news of Jesus in the world? How do we best prepare leaders to do this job? And of course, we prayed, we laughed, we worshiped, we shared stories of faith, and we ate a lot of snacks. Lutherans do food very well, and the church-wide offices are no exception. They take very good care of us. So thank you again for entrusting me with the privilege of serving on the ELCA Church Council. The work is both challenging and exciting. If you have any questions or more information, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you for this time to share.